The great Ogbunike River, lifeline to the village of Umuoma, begins behaving strangely. Its once calm waters turn violent, flooding farmlands and devouring the riverbanks. The villagers grow anxious, believing they have angered the river spirits. Nkume, a skilled but stubborn fisherman, decides to fish one evening despite warnings from the elders, determined to provide for his family. His wife, a daisy, begs him to stay, but his resolve is unshaken. While fishing, Nkume hears a haunting cry near the riverbank. Startled but curious, he rows closer, spotting a young woman struggling in the violent current. Without hesitation, Nkume dives into the water, battling the current to save the maiden. As he pulls her to safety, he notices her otherworldly beauty. Her skin glows faintly under the moonlight, and her eyes shimmer like flowing water. The maiden introduces herself as Nrinma, and thanks Nkume for saving her. But she warns him, "By rescuing me, you have invited the wrath of the river. Let me go, or you will regret this act of kindness." The morning after Nkume's encounter, the river overflows with terrifying speed, destroying farmlands and homes. The villagers are thrown into chaos, blaming each other for angering the gods. Nkume dreams of Nrinma that night. She stands in the river, crying for forgiveness. He awakens to find strange markings on his arms that resemble flowing water. Nkume returns to the riverbank, where Nrinma appears again. She reveals she is a cursed river spirit, and explains that anyone who helps her brings disaster upon themselves and their people. Nkume consults the village oracle, who tells him the only way to end the chaos is to uncover the full story behind Nrinma's curse. He must seek the river of truth, deep in the spirit world. When the floods worsen, the villagers accuse Nkume of offending the spirits by rescuing Nrinma. They demand he sacrifice her to the river to appease the gods. Nkume refuses to harm Nrinma, insisting there must be another way. The elders exile him, warning him never to return unless he ends the curse. Nrinma begs Nkume to let her return to the river, believing her suffering is better than his. But Nkume vows to find a way to free her and save the village. Nkume and Nrinma leave the village, following the oracle's cryptic instructions to find the Forest of Echoes, the first step to reaching the River of Truth. They encounter a talking stone, a guardian of the forest, which warns them of the dangers ahead. Nkume's courage impresses the spirit, which allows them passage. The forest is alive with whispers, mocking Nkume and Nrinma with their worst fears. Nkume hears a Daise's voice accusing him of abandoning his family. At the forest's edge, they face a giant serpent guarding the river's crossing. Nkume cleverly distracts it, while Nrinma sings a haunting lullaby to pacify the beast. As they camp by the river, Nrinma reveals her tragic past. She was once human but defied Nzube, the water deity, to protect her mortal lover, leading to her eternal curse. A spirit of fire blocks their path, demanding they solve a riddle to proceed. Nkume solves it by remembering a proverb his mother taught him as a child. The fire spirit warns them that reaching the river of truth will demand a sacrifice. Nkume accepts without hesitation, though Nrinma fears for his safety. They finally arrive at the river of truth, a shimmering, otherworldly body of water. The spirit of the river appears, offering to reveal the truth about Nrinma's curse, for a heavy price. The river of truth shows Nkume and Nrinma visions of the past. Nrinma's human lover betrayed her, and Nzube cursed her for her compassion toward mortals. The river spirit reveals that Nrinma's curse can only be broken by restoring balance to the sacred shrine of waters, which lies buried under the riverbed. To reach the shrine, they must cross into the spirit world, a realm of shifting landscapes and illusions. The spirit gate demands a memory as payment. Nkume sacrifices his happiest memory, his mother's laughter, to open the portal. In the spirit world, Nkume and Nrinma are judged by spectral elders who question their motives. Nkume's sincerity earns their reluctant approval. Nzube appears, furious that mortals dare to interfere with her judgment. She challenges Nkume to prove his loyalty to Nrinma. Nkume battles a water spirit summoned by Nzubi. Though injured, he wins by using his wits instead of brute force. Nzubi demands Narinma sacrifice her immortality to restore the shrine. Narinma hesitates, but ultimately agrees, choosing humanity over eternity. Nkume and Narinma gather the shrine's scattered relics, piecing together its broken structure amid spiritual attacks. As the shrine is restored, Narinma transforms fully into a mortal. The river calms and Nzube withdraws, acknowledging their bravery. Nkume and Narinma begin their journey back to the village of Umuoma, walking along the now calm Ogbunike River. The river no longer rages, its waters reflecting the moonlight with a serene glow. As they travel, they notice wildlife returning to the riverbanks, a sign that balance has been restored. Narinma, now fully mortal, marvels at the sensations of fatigue and hunger, emotions foreign to her before. Nkume, however, is troubled by how the villagers will receive them. He knows they are unlikely to believe that Narinma's curse has been lifted, and he fears the blame and resentment that might linger. Yet, Narinma reassures him, reminding him of the strength they've shown together. She holds his hand tightly as they approach the village gates. When they enter Umuoma, the villagers greet them with suspicion and anger. The destruction caused by the floods has left deep scars, and many blame Nkume for bringing Narinma into their lives. The elders call an emergency meeting, demanding to know why Nkume has returned with the woman they believe is the cause of their suffering. Nkume stands before the crowd, explaining everything: the curse, Narinma's sacrifice, and their journey to restore the shrine. But his words fall on deaf ears. Some call for Narinma's banishment, while others demand Nkume pay for his perceived defiance of the gods. Narinma steps forward, pleading for understanding, but the villagers only grow more restless. Just as tensions rise, an elderly woman named Mama Ebeli, the village's oldest storyteller, speaks out in their defense. She reminds the crowd of the ancient tales of Nzube's wrath and how only acts of courage and sacrifice could appease the river deity. Mama Ebeli declares that Nkume and Narinma have done what no one else dared, restored balance to the land. Her words plant a seed of doubt among the villagers. While some remain unconvinced, others, especially the younger generation, begin to see Nkume and Narinma in a different light. Mama Ebeli's intervention buys them some time, though Nkume knows they still have much to prove. The village healer, Obiora, approaches Narinma, noticing her weakened state. Now mortal, she is experiencing the effects of exhaustion and exposure from their journey. Obiora tends to her wounds and quietly tells Nkume that he believes their story, as the river's calm waters speak for themselves. Obiora suggests that Nkume and Narinma help rebuild the village as a gesture of goodwill. Actions speak louder than words, he advises. Nkume agrees, determined to show the villagers that they have returned as allies, not enemies. Nkume begins leading efforts to repair the damaged farmlands and homes. He uses his fishing skills to provide food for those who have lost everything, while Narinma works alongside the women to rebuild huts. Her gentle demeanor and tireless effort begin to soften the hearts of the villagers. Children, curious about Narinma's past, gather around her as she tells them stories of the spirit world and Nzubi's trials. Her tales, filled with wisdom and wonder, capture their imaginations. Slowly, the village starts seeing her not as a cursed being, but as a person with a unique connection to the river. The village elders convene once more to decide whether Nkume and Narinma should stay. They summon them to present their case again. This time, Nkume brings gifts from the river, unusually large fish and rare herbs, as proof of its newfound bounty. Narinma speaks of her mortal transformation, explaining that her presence is no longer tied to the curse. She offers to teach the villagers how to live in harmony with the river, ensuring such disasters never happen again. After a long deliberation, the elders agree to let them stay, but with the condition that they must continue proving their loyalty. For Narinma, life as a human is both beautiful and challenging. She feels pain for the first time when she cuts her hand while weaving a basket, and her hunger surprises her as it grows during long days of work. Yet, she is delighted by small joys, like the warmth of the sun on her skin or the taste of freshly roasted yams. Nkume watches her with admiration and concern, offering his support when the difficulties of mortal life overwhelm her. Together, they laugh, struggle, and learn, growing closer with each passing day. The villagers, too, begin to admire Nrinma's resilience and willingness to adapt. To celebrate the river's return to peace, the villagers decide to hold the Festival of Waters, an annual tradition that had been abandoned during the years of flooding. The event involves music, dance, and offerings to Nzube to honor her power. Nkume and Nrinma are invited to lead the ceremony, a sign of the villagers' growing acceptance. Dressed in traditional attire, they carry a symbolic calabash filled with water to the river's edge, where they pour it as an offering. The river flows steadily, a sign of Nzube's approval. Nkume and Nrinma teach sustainable practices to prevent future floods, such as replanting trees along the riverbanks and respecting sacred fishing days.